Thanks for joining us on the program Property Doctor. In this program, we talk about buildings, the built environment, how we can manage and maintain our buildings, our structures to help you save lives, save time, save money, and make you happy. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up by clicking on the like button. If you're new here, we welcome you and we urge you to also click on the subscribe button if you appreciate this particular program. You can click on the subscribe button. And one more thing, you can click on the notification bell so that you'll be notified whenever a new episode comes up. My name is Fumi Amunega Ajayi, also known as your Property Doctor.
I'm coming. If you hand over to government to maintain, the budget the money and share it.
To live in that particular place that the house is. So it's supposed government will compensate them so that and pay them and relocate them to where they are going and build another house for them.
Careful engineering and management to meet human needs. You can connect with us on our social media handles on Facebook at Property Doctor NG, on Instagram and on YouTube at Property Doctor NG, and on Twitter at Property Doc NG. Some buildings lose their beauty and functionality because of the inadequate maintenance and management of these buildings, thereby affecting the structure, the mechanical works, the electrical work, even the outward appearance of the building. These inadequacies affect the buildings and its users. This is why we want to look at the facilities of our buildings and its management. Buildings serve different purposes for different people and their users. We have different types of buildings. We have schools, hospitals, we have markets, we have shopping centers, we have residential buildings, offices, and so on. So today we brought in a facility manager, somebody who is a seasoned professional in the management of buildings, who will tell us some things we need to know about facility management. His name is Estate Surveyor Oladele Alade. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Please sit down, relax, and get ideas from him on what to do and what to expect from the management of facilities in our buildings, the expectation of the users, the owner of the building, and the building itself from everybody. So these are the things we want to talk about today, the roles and the responsibilities of a facility manager. So what is facility management?
Okay, thank you very much. Facility management can easily be defined as the tools and services that support the functionality, safety, and sustainability of a building, whether residential or commercial, the infrastructure, the roads, or even the bridges, and other services.
Infrastructure of the
building infrastructure.
The building infrastructure.
Yes, like the roads, the drainages.
Yes.
Exactly.
Okay. So these are the things, these are the responsibilities
yes.
of a facility manager. I was expecting more.
Summary.
Okay, summarily.
Yes.
Okay, so what kind of facilities are we talking about now?
Okay. When we are talking about the roles of facility manager this time around, we are talking about the lease management and administration, where you collect rent and render account periodically to the property owner.
Yeah.
Then you collect service charge, and the service charge administration. Then you carry out routine maintenance of property. Then you test the facility test and installation and testing of mechanical, electrical services. Probably maybe they have a fire hydrant in the property. You carry out periodic testing about those things. Then whether they have a lift or elevator in the property,
okay.
You carry out the periodic testing of all those services too.
Okay, like maintenance.
Maintenance. If they require any
maintenance
or repair.
Okay.
carry out these functions, yes. Then the waste disposal, then the security administration, the cleaning of common parts, fumigation of the estates, etc.
Okay, now before we started the program, we were talking about facility managers for commercial buildings and residential buildings. Now, what is the difference between the roles of a facility manager for any of this, like the commercial or the residential?
The functions, they are similar, but they have some little differences. Like in residential facility management, the tenants or the occupier in residential estates normally appoints the facility manager. Then in a commercial facility management, the property owner or a developer appoints the services of the facility manager. Again,
so when it's like a corporate thing, it's a commercial.
Exactly.
You get a commercial facility manager. Exactly. But for the residential, it's the tenants or the home users
that normally.
Okay.
You still see in some estates too, they still have the facility manager being appointed by the property owner. But in most cases, and it's ideally for the occupiers to appoint the service of the facility manager in a residential estate or residential building.
Okay.
Simply because the facility manager will account for the services for the service charge being paid by the occupiers of the room.
Yeah, account to who?
To the occupiers in
to
residential,
the occupiers.
Definitely.
Okay.
But in a commercial setup, because of some services like asset replacements, probably the property owner in a multi-tenanted building has installed lift, elevators, and some other, specialized installation that needs maybe replacement after, a time.
Yeah.
So the facility manager, in preparing the service charge budget, he will try to make provision for the replacement of all those services, so that when the need arises, there would be what we call a sinking fund. They'll be, putting the money aside.
Okay. Now you have even gone ahead to answer some questions I wanted to ask you.
Okay.
All right.
So the facility manager will be collecting what we call an annual sinking fund. The money will be kept somewhere, and the money will be yielding some interest, so that when the need arises for the replacement of all those assets, the facility manager will just go into the account and bring the money out and carry out the.
Where do they get the money?
Okay, the money is inbuilt in the service charge being paid by the occupiers of a multi-tenanted building.
Do they pay the service charge along with the rent, or like a homeowner or maybe somebody who owns the property, does he pay a service charge also? The
rent is an entity on its own, while the service charge too is an entity. In most cases, the facility manager, the estate surveyor, that the best professionals to be appointed as facility manager in the property, they normally use the percentage of the rent to compute. There are many, ways of computing it. We use the percentage of the rent to compute the service charge. And again, in commercial building, we use the
square meter or
the lettable space.
Oh, okay.
To compute the service charge.
The lettable space.
Yes.
Okay, not the functional. That is the areas, the common areas. You don't use those areas. Just the space that you have rented.
Exactly.
Okay, the space that the person is about to rent.
Or the place that the occupier is,
Okay, that's what you use to compute the service charge.
Yes.
Now,
that's one of the ways of computing. There are many methods. Use the rent, use the space occupied, and some other ways to
calculate the service charge
to be paid by the occupier in a multi-tenanted
apartment or building.
Yes.
Oh, who is a facility manager?
A facility manager is a professional that is being trained in the art of maintaining and carrying out repairs to ensure that the property is in a good, condition, and the property too will be yielding the expected income to the property owner.
So is it the facility manager that collects the service charge?
Yes, the service charge by training the estate surveyor or the facility manager is, being trained. And he has undergone training in estate. There is a course called estate accounting. So you open a separate account
for the service
charge. The money will be paid in by the occupiers of the building, so that when the need arise, they just go to the accountant with the instruction of the property owner and bring out the money and
to pay for
the services. It will be maybe to pay for the security in the building, waste disposal, etc., etc.
Okay.
Yes.
What if there's a repair on any infrastructure, maybe water or road? Who takes care of that in facility management, whether commercial or residential?
It's still part of the function of facility manager. I carry out routine maintenance and repairs of some basic services in the building. Maybe we have cracks on the wall, we have maybe collapsed fence and the rest. Maybe you have damaged asphalt on the road that needs minor repairs.
Yes.
Carry out all those functions.
In some estates, you have some group of people that manage the estate.
Yes.
What are the services you expect from those group of people that manage the estate, or maybe the facility manager? Are they the same kind of
in the residential? We've explained earlier on that we have what we call residential facility management and commercial facility management. In the residential setup, the residents association, they normally appoint the facility manager in most cases.
Okay, like the executive or the
welfare. And their basic function is just to make sure that all the occupiers pay their service charge for the usage of the facility manager. They are not the one that is being expected.
For the estate?
Yes, for the estate.
Okay.
They make sure all the occupiers pay the service charge so that the facility manager will be able to expend those money for, common services in the building. But in a commercial facilities management, where the property owner or the developer appoints the facility manager, make periodic account to the property owner.
Where do you find facility managers?
Okay, the facility managers, like I said earlier on,
if you want to appoint
the best professional to carry out the facility manager function are the registered estate surveyors and valuers, and you find them throughout the major cities and towns in Nigeria.
Okay, but some other people in the built environment,
yes,
they carry out this roles too, as a facility manager.
Yes.
Do you think they can do it very well as well?
No, simply because the estate surveyor, when you're talking about facility manager, you can't throw away what we call the service charge and the service charge administration. They are two different things. The service charge.
What is the service charge administration?
The service charge administration is just, the accountability of, the service charge being collected by facility manager. How do you expend all those things? How do you arrive at your service charge to be paid by each occupier?
Okay.
You get it. How do you expend all those money? What repairs do you use the money for? You give periodic. And because
it's not like planning, like directing and all those things.
Exactly. It's still planning, directing, and coordinating and the rest.
Coordinating. Is that not what it is? Exactly. That means anybody who has done any of these courses should be able to manage it.
Because when we are talking about the facility, management, you are still talking about the lease administration and management. When you are talking about the lease administration management, that's the collection of rent. How do you even determine the rent? There are many ways of determining rent.
It's not just that you say, you can't just, I want to rent for this amount of money.
The best professional to affix rent, in fixing rent, you have to carry a valuation for rental purposes. And the only professional you can, get those information for are from the estate surveyor, some valuers.
Yeah.
That's why I said they are the best professionals to carry out a facility management function.
Okay, now let me round up with this particular question. Is facility management ideal, or is it good for the occupiers of a building, or for the owners of the building, or even for the building itself?
The facility management is good for the building, for the sustainability of the building, when you're talking about even the economic and physical sustainability, then for the safety of even the occupier of the building. And when you're talking about the economic sustainability, the property owner too, definitely because he has invested in the property, he'll be getting some returns. So the three parties, the property, the owner, and the occupier, benefit from facility management function.
Okay. One last word for our viewers today on facilities management.
If I may conclude this way, I will expect the government through the National Assembly to enact a law that will, on maintenance of both private and public properties in Nigeria. Simply because if you go around the major cities and towns in Nigeria, you see some properties that are in poor and untenantable, conditions that requires, urgent
attention.
Maintenance. That's why you see building collapse everywhere. Properties are not being maintained regularly, and without a law guiding such, I don't think there'll be a headway for us.
Thank you for being with us today on the program, and thank you for viewers for being with us on this episode of Property Doctor. I hope you learned something today. Please don't forget to click on the subscribe button so that you be one of our family members on the program Property Doctor. Also click on the like button and click on the notification bell so that you can get notified whenever a new episode comes up. We hope you enjoyed this particular topic, and we hope to see you same time next week on the program Property Doctor. Until then, enjoy the rest of your day. God bless you and bye.
I'm coming. If you hand over to government to maintain, the budget the money and share it.
To live in that particular place that the house is. So it's supposed government will compensate them so that and pay them and relocate them to where they are going and build another house for them.
Careful engineering and management to meet human needs.